Hey, it's Katie and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video is my June TBR. So like usual, I have my TBR jar and these are different prompts to help me finally read some of the books on my physical TBR. So like usual, I will pull 4 prompts out of this jar and match a book to those prompts, and then I'll fill in the rest of my TBR with some other books I've been in the mood to read. Before I pull any out, I was pretty successful with my TBR from May. I ended up reading 3 out of the 4 prompts, so that's pretty good for me. The one I didn't read was Friend's Pick. I read like a chapter of it and for some reason never continued it. So I'm going to put that prompt back in here and then mix it around and we will pick out the first prompt. I always love these videos because I never really know what I want to read. I always have a couple ideas, but this is always really fun to motivate me to read books that have been on my shelf for way too long. This first one is First Sentence. Okay, so I'm going to pick a couple books randomly off my shelf and I'll read the first sentence of all of them and then pick which one sounds the most interesting. So I think I'm going to try to pick books that have been on there for a while and maybe reading the first sentence will motivate me. Okay, so I wanted to pick a fantasy because I've been really struggling to get back into the fantasy genre. I've primarily been reading romance books, so hopefully this will help. I don't know why I can't talk today. But the first one I picked was Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. So let's read the first sentence. An axe swings from my head. I mean, yeah, that definitely grabs your attention. Okay, so that one is a pretty good start. I also picked The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. Let's find that sentence. Fee pushed open the door and stepped into the dingy tavern known as the Silver Baron. It's not bad. It's not a boring sentence, but it doesn't grab my attention as much as the first one, I don't think. And then I also picked Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. The first sentence is, never come to Hellfire House without wearing a mask. Also pretty intriguing, but I feel like I have to go for Warrior of the Wild. An axe swings from my head. I think that's what it was. That's pretty interesting, and I have had a really good track record with Trisha Levenseller books. I've read 4 out of the 5 that she has published, and I've loved every single one, so hopefully she goes 5 for 5. Okay, let's find our second prompt. Oh gosh, they're all tangled. Less than 300 pages. I'm not sure if I have any. I think I've already read my shortest one last month, but let me see if I can find any. Okay, I actually did find 2. So I have this book by Willow Winters. This is her discreet version, so I don't really know what this one's actually called. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is called Rough Touch. And it's the 3rd book in one of her mafia romances. It says that our main character's family was murdered and she was taken as prisoner, I think. And one of those men shows her some kindness, even though he's very powerful and people are usually scared of him. So that's what I'm getting from the little blurb. So we have that, or I have the 3rd book in the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert, and this one is about Hook. It's called A Worthy Opponent, and I'm not really sure who. Oh, Tank. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so I am currently reading the 2nd book right now. I'm listening to the audiobook and I am enjoying it, so maybe I'll go with this one. I don't really know. It's been a while since I've read a Willow Winters book, but also this one, there's something about the cover and the fact that it's about Hook. I've only read one Captain Hook retelling, which was Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and I loved it, so I'm kind of leaning toward this one. I think I'll add this to my TBR. Okay, prompt number 3. Oh, there's 3 of them inside of each other. Okay, this is a long one. What does this say? reminds you of a favorite movie or TV show. Okay. For some reason, like the two shows that pop in my head would be Vampire Diaries or Gilmore Girls. So I don't think I have any vampire books. So I think I'm going to go the Gilmore Girls route and maybe pick like a small town romance because I know I have a couple of those. Let me see what I can find. I have a couple in mind. Okay, so I didn't have as many small town romances as I thought, but the one I do know is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata, and I've been waiting for the perfect moment to read this book. I love Mariana Zapata. She is one of my favorite authors, and this is small town and I think also single parent. So that definitely gives me Gilmore Girls vibes, and I am really excited to read this. I also had like another Mariana Zapata book in mind for my TBR, so I might have two on here this month. We'll see. Okay, it is time for our last prompt. Okay. A hyped book you're hesitant about. Honestly, there's probably a lot. I always end up buying books I see people talk about on TikTok or on TikTok or on booktube, and then once I own it, it always takes me forever to read them because I'm very like, I don't know, I have really high expectations and I'm worried it's not going to live up to those expectations. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Credence by Penelope Douglas, and this book is talked about so much, and a lot of it is like 50-50. Some people love this book, some people hate this book. So even though it's hyped, I wouldn't say it's all like good things. But I'm definitely hesitant about this because I've never read anything like it, and I'm interested to see what I think. I know it's going to be a journey either way, whether I enjoy it or not. But I feel like I'm ready. I don't know if you can be ready for this book, but I'm as ready as I'll ever be, so I feel pretty confident putting this on my TBR. All right, so those are the 4 prompts I'm picking this month, so I'm going to gather up the other books I want to fill my TBR with, and I will be right back. Okay, I usually stop myself at 10 books total, but I picked an extra one this month because I couldn't make a decision. So these first couple just give me like summer vibes, and the first one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I've had this for a while, and I've just been waiting for the right time, and I feel like it has to be read in summertime. It just feels like that would make it so much better. I just read Book Lovers, and I've read Beach Read, and loved both of them. I gave them both 5 stars, so I have really high hopes for this, and I'm really excited to dive in. I love Emily Henry's writing. I also have Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter, and this is just cute. I feel like this cover just, I don't know, it feels perfect for summer. And this is super adorable. I know that she sends a text, like a steamy text, to the wrong number, and it turns out to be her brother's best friend and roommate, who she ends up having to move in with because I think her apartment gets set on fire or something, or she accidentally sets it on fire. And then they have to move in together. So that sounds perfect. It sounds like a great rom-com, and I have been really excited to read this. And then next I have Set on You by Amy Leah, and this is like a cute enemies to lovers gym romance. Also, I think it'll have a lot to do with like social media and that kind of thing, but it just looks really cute, and I've never really read a gym romance, so I can't wait. And then, since it is Pride Month, I wanted to add a couple LGBTQ romances, and first I have The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm pretty sure this is a sapphic romance, and on the front it says, "Kiss the prince, break the curse, the sleep of death broken with a single kiss." It also says there's like good banter, there's a dreamy romance, there's some adventure, and there's like curses in this world. So that just sounds really good, and I think there's like 3 main characters. So I've had this for a little bit now. It's like a 2022 release, but I really wanted to get to it right away, and it didn't happen. So fingers crossed I finally read it. And then my other read for Pride Month is Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. And this, again, I think is a sapphic romance, but it also is kind of, I don't know if it's magical realism or like what the proper word is, but basically I think there's like a car accident or something, and the main character gets an invitation to the afterlife, or from the afterlife, to join a clan of reapers who take the souls of the city's dead to await their fate. But she can't let go of her first love, Poppy, and will do anything to see her again. So it sounds cute. There's some romance, but also like magic and things. I've had this for a while. It's one of my Fairy Loot books, and I love the sprayed edges, but I hopefully will get to this one as well. I feel like this is the perfect month for it. And then the two I couldn't decide between, so I just added both, are Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the third book in the Addicted series, but technically it's like book 5 if you read the series in order. That sounds really confusing. But if you don't know, there's the Addicted series and the Calloway Sisters series, and they're kind of like interwoven, so you have to read them in a very specific order. And this is the next one I get to read. It's been a couple months since I've read anything from this world, and so I'm really excited to be back with these characters. They're really starting to feel like family, and I kind of miss them. So I definitely want to dive into this really soon. And then I also have The Bully by Sophie Lark, which is the third book in the Kingmaker series. And we got to see Dean and Kat in the second book. You just see like little bits and pieces of them, and I am so intrigued by this dynamic. I think it is a bully romance, which would make sense. So I can't wait to dive into this. I feel like I actually really like bully romances, so fingers crossed I fall in love with this world. All right, so those are all the books on my June TBR. Thank you for coming along with me while I picked my prompts and made some decisions. We'll see how I do. I don't usually read every book on my TBR, but I get at least half of them, so hopefully I can do that or read even more of these. Let me know what books you're hoping to read this month, and also if you have any book recommendations for Pride Month, leave those in the comments as well, because I realized I don't actually own a lot of books that have like Pride representation, so I would love to find some more. I did a really good job last June of reading some, but I would love to start incorporating more of those types of romances, so please leave some recommendations below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, please click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.